bounds.
The civil authorities have issued a civil emergency message for all of New York. Various reports came in about water have suddenly risen dramatically. So far, no casualties and damage have been reported, but that may change, so please be vigilant at this time. An hour ago, there were also instant reports of water rising dramatically throughout the eastern, southern, and western United States. No emergency has been activated. Normal programming may continue.
Here is the latest weather forecast. Tonight, the sky will be clear with no clouds, the temperature will be at 35 degrees. The next day will be cloudy with a high chance of snow showers, highs at mid-30 degrees, frostbite is likely and everyone is being advised to wear thick warm clothing to avoid getting frostbites.
The following message is being transmitted at the request of the Charleston Police Department and the National Weather Service. A flash flood warning has been issued for Charleston, SC. Roads in downtown Charleston are being flooded due to amounts of water rising up drastically. There were also instances of reports that all debris are floating across the water and it is going around. Cars and trucks in the area are almost submerged with only the top of these vehicles remaining. All residents in Charleston are strongly advised to seek higher ground on a sturdy building. If you are currently driving, turn around, and don't drown when encounter floods. Most flooded roads are possible due to the amounts of water. It is speculated that the ice caps from the north are starting to melt due to the Earth's temperature rising dramatically. Remain on high grounds and do not go down until the waters are going down.
I know what's going on across the globe. There are many waters that are rising dramatically, and we have speculated that the glacier ice is starting to melt due to the Earth's temperature rising. I'm not exactly sure what this means for us, other than the rising tides, but all we can hope is that it eventually balances out, right?
It is a huge probability that the glaciers from the north are melting. Since it is happening right now, we have to send the news to everyone about ice from the north is melting, and it could lead to sea level rising, which means that all coastal cities and towns across the world are gonna get submerged with sea levels.
Welcome back for more news. As we discovered that the ice glaciers from the north are starting to melt, causing every coastal area across the world to be flooded, we got an emergency alert system is about to be activated through the wire. Please stand by for the upcoming message.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the United States government. It has been speculated that the ice from the North Pole has been melting dramatically. As a result, all coastal areas across the United States are reporting major flooding on every street. All residents in coastal area are strongly advised to seek higher ground immediately. Mandatory action is required as the flood continues to submerge everything in its path. Refusing to take proper action will result in certain death. Bring food, water, clothing, medical supplies, a flashlight, and a battery-powered radio. Please keep in mind that emergency services will be unavailable, but emergency services helicopters will be available and able to help people if they are stranded. Repeating, seek higher ground on a sturdy building immediately. Stay tuned for further information.
I received reports of floods across New York City since I knew the ice glaciers from the north are melting due to the Earth's temperature rising.
I know, right? We just got an alert from the emergency alert system and the National Weather Service that the flood warning has been issued for New York City, and I cannot say many things that I have in mind.
Okay, if you have other things to tell me about this, You can just tell me whether I please.
The National Weather Service in New York City has issued a flood warning for Manhattan, NY beginning at 9:10 p.m. and ending at 11:00 p.m. A flood warning has been issued for your area. Several floods are currently being reported in all coastal areas in the state of New York, as well as New York City and Long Island. Seek higher grounds on a sturdy building immediately. Again, a flash flood warning has been issued for Manhattan, NY, until 11:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Event type is flood warning. The following message is transmitted at the request of the Federal Emergency Management Agency. A massive flood is currently submerging coastal cities across Canada, mainly include Quebec City, Montreal, Halifax, Vancouver, and North Vancouver. High levels of water are being reported in most coastal areas in Canada. All residents in coastal areas are strongly advised to evacuate the shores immediately. Please keep in mind that emergency services will be unavailable due to the large amounts of floods.
Le type d'événement est un avertissement d'inondation. Le message suivant est transmis à la demande de l'Agence fédérale de gestion des urgences. Une inondation massive submerge actuellement les villes côtières du Canada, notamment Québec, Montréal, Halifax, Vancouver et North Vancouver. Des niveaux d'eau élevés sont signalés dans la plupart des régions côtières du Canada. Il est fortement conseillé à tous les résidents des zones côtières d'évacuer immédiatement les rives. Veuillez garder à l'esprit que les services d'urgence ne seront pas disponibles en raison du grand nombre d'inondations.
If you are evacuating, bring food, water, clothing, medical supplies, and a battery-powered radio. Use any highways or roads that do not have traffic. Stay informed for more updates as soon as we provide.
Si vous évacuez, apportez de la nourriture, de l'eau, des vêtements, des fournitures médicales et une radio à pile. Utilisez toutes les autoroutes ou routes qui n'ont pas de circulation. Restez informés pour plus de mises à jour dès que nous fournissons.
The following message is being transmitted at the request of the United States government. All coastal areas in the United States and as well as Canada and Mexico are being reported in floods, due to severe flash floods according to the National Weather Service. If you reside in these coastal areas, evacuate immediately. If you cannot evacuate, be sure that you go on high grounds on a sturdy building. Do not go to your basement, as the basement is completely flooded. If you want to evacuate, but you're surrounded by waters, wait for the helicopter to come by and to pick you up. Stay tuned for more information on this situation.
Alright everyone, leave the streets, it's completely flooded by waters.
Dude, do you imagine that the sea levels is causing every single coastal areas in the United States to be flooded, and as well as New York City?
I know, but I have let everyone evacuate as the floods is continuing to rise dramatically.
Not only that, everyone in coastal cities and towns across the United States also needs to leave the area, unless they're brave enough to stay alive.
If they want to risk themselves to stay alive in coastal areas, then fine by me.
It's like our planet is facing temperature rising, which is causing ice caps from the north to melt and causing the sea levels to rise. And I don't want to lose everything that I enjoy on any of the coastal cities and towns.
You too, I need to tell you guys something.
What is it?
The entire coastal areas in the United States and as well as Canada, Hawaii, Mexico, Jamaica, Cuba, Brazil and others reporting a flood rising even more to the point where the entire roads and streets are barely visible.
Oh no, I have to send this to the emergency alert system. Thanks for telling to both of us.
You're welcome, sir.
I know it's a game, I'm not gonna play, but maybe you should do whatever you need to erase me. It's all just a game, you think I'm gonna play, but maybe you should do whatever you need to erase me.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the New York State Police, the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the National Weather Service. Major floods are rising dramatically due to more ice caps melting from north, and also causing the Earth's temperature to rise dramatically. An immediate evacuation has also been issued due to the presence of rising floods. The National Weather Service is undetermined when will this flood be stopped, but all residents are strongly advised to leave the area for your survival. If you refuse to evacuate, please keep in mind that not evacuating will put your life in extreme danger. Tunnels and bridges are being used for evacuation routes so you can evacuate from New York City fast. However, there will be traffic, so try your best as possible to evacuate now. This event is also occurring in other areas, such as Boston, Portland, Maine, Miami, San Francisco, Baltimore, and Philadelphia. It is expected that the sea level will rise more if the Earth's temperature will rise to 4 degrees. When you evacuate, tie a white towel to your mailbox, and bring food, water, clothing, medical supplies, and a battery-powered radio. If you cannot evacuate, emergency helicopters will come by and pick you up to a safer location. Stay tuned to local media news and outlets on this dangerous situation. Repeating, an immediate evacuation has been issued due to the floods rising slowly and dramatically.
You need to
The following message is transmitted at the request of local authorities. An immediate evacuation has been issued for all coastal areas in the state of Maine due to the rising sea levels and floods. Every single coastal areas, such as Bar Harbor and Portland, are reporting a rising waters, causing everything to be flooded up. It is expected that the floods will spread even further in a few moments. Due to extreme life-threatening situation for all residents in the coastal areas are strongly being asked to evacuate the coast immediately. Bring food, water, clothing, medical supplies, and a battery or a hand-cranked radio. Remember, these types of stuff that we've mentioned are best for your survival as the floods are continuing to spread further, and emergency management is working on to get everyone out of the coastal areas immediately. Stay tuned to local media news and outlets, as we will provide more information when we are available.
This is BBC News. There are confirmed reports of all coastal cities across United Kingdom are currently submerging in floods. Shelters are currently setting up in Scotland, Wales and England. Do not return to your home as your home is currently submerged in waters. Emergency helicopters are currently rescuing everyone who are stuck on a building and surrounded by floods. The cause behind of all of the floods, which is due to the rising sea level, melting of the ice caps from the north and Earth's temperatures rising. The cause of this climate change, which is due to a lot of air pollutions and others. In addition, due to the climate change and the rising sea levels, the storms are getting stronger, prompting an evacuation for all of the coastal areas in United Kingdom, and as well as United States, Mexico and Canada. Stay tuned to the BBC News.
The strange weather is taking place across the eastern and northeastern United States, and some areas in western United States. Strong storms and major flooding is currently being reported across the eastern and northeastern United States. Mass evacuations is currently taking place across the northeastern United States, and as well as the New England region. This message was being transmitted from the National Weather Service.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the Federal Emergency Management Agency. Mass evacuation is taking place in the northeastern United States and as well as the New England region. If you are located in these areas, evacuate your area in a calm manner, unless being told by local authorities. This message will repeat in 1 hour.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the National Weather Service, the United States government and the Federal Emergency Management Agency. All coastal cities and towns across the United States have been reported to be submerged in floods. Due to this, all residents are strongly urged to evacuate the shores and coastal cities immediately. Do not return to your home as your home will be submerged on waters. Emergency shelters are currently being set up across the non-flooded areas. The cause behind all of the sea level rising, which it is due to the climate change and the Earth's temperature rising dramatically. Almost most countries and as well as the island nations are experiencing major flooding due to the rising sea levels. More information will come shortly. As of right now, all residents who are living in non-coastal cities and towns are strongly urged to stay indoors as the storms are getting even more stronger as the result of the climate change. This is expected that the major ice caps from the north will melt even more in a few upcoming days. Tsunamis is likely as the storms continues to grow more in strength. Remain calm and remain indoors. Stay tuned for more information and updates.
Every single coastal areas in numerous countries across the world, and as well as the island nations are experiencing rising sea levels, and mostly people in coastal cities are currently evacuating the coastal areas. Riots and protests are being reported in numerous cities across the world. Everyone is in a panic mode across the world. Every authorities and world government need a plan to stop the climate crisis and sea levels. We're afraid that the sea level will continue to rise and eventually swallowing major coastal cities across the world. In addition, the Earth's temperature is rising dramatically, making the situation even worse. We need to fix the climate change, but we don't know how. It would take a lot of hard work for everything to be normal. But every single country across the world must have a plan to stop the climate change and rising sea levels. As of this, we made a poll on either we do it ourselves or work together. The most voted poll will be accepted. Most people voted work together, so the vote has passed. More information will come soon.
Wherever we go, we'll always know. From the highest mountain to the bottom of the ocean, yeah. Our song is running like a river. Let the current take us there. We've got the melody to set us free, singing destiny. We've got the melody to set us free, singing destiny.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the Australian government. All coastal cities across Australia are reported floods. Mass evacuation are currently taking place across Australia. Please evacuate by being told by local authorities, as this would have a high chance of your survival. Monitor local media news and outlets for more information.
Come on, I need to find some food for my evacuation.
Dude, why the hell are you panicking? You can find other food somewhere around Australia.
I need to find food here so I can last longer while I am evacuating somewhere that is not near the sea.
Well, okay, but you better do it faster because the floods are spreading throughout Melbourne and the surrounding areas.
Finally, I have many foods and snacks I need, such as Doritos, chicken, steak tips, and others. That'll keep me more active while I am evacuating, and I also have drinks, such as water and Sprite.
Finally, you have found something you need. Let's go and evacuate.
應中國政府要求發出以下信息：中國沿海地區正在報告大規模海平面上升和洪水。目前沿海城鎮正在進行大規模疏散，請疏散到更安全的地方。除非地方當局告知海平面上升的原因是氣候變化和地球溫度上升，這是應中國政府要求發出的緊急信息。聯合國和世界各國正在共同努力阻止氣候變化。請繼續關注電台或當地媒體新聞和媒體以獲取更多信息。Op verzoek van de Nederlanders wordt het volgende bericht verzonden. Er zijn berichten dat alle kuststeden en dorpen in heel Nederland zijn ondergedompeld in overstromingen. Alle inwoners van kustgebieden wordt geadviseerd de kustgebieden te evacueren. Keer niet terug naar uw huizen, want uw huis zal onder water staan. Dit rapport over de zeespiegel en de overstromingen is gerapporteerd in andere gebieden, zoals Frankrijk, België, Denemarken, Duitsland, Polen, Griekenland, Spanje, Groot-Brittannië, Schotland, Ierland, de Verenigde Staten, Canada, Mexico, Cuba, Brazilië, Noord-Brazilië, Russische Federatie, China, Japan, Zuid-Korea, Australië, de Filipijnen en Indonesië. Evacueer alsjeblieft met uw eigendommen, zoals voedsel, water, kleding, medische benodigdheden en een batterij of een draagbare radio. Kies uw dierbaren niet uit school, ziekenhuizen of verpleeghuizen. Deze voorzieningen hebben een eigen evacuatieroute. Hou het lokale medianieuws en de lokale media in de gaten voor meer informatie.
National Center Statement. All countries across the world are experiencing major evacuation and major coastal areas being flooded. All riots are also being reported across the world, but mainly in major cities. All residents receiving this broadcast are strongly advised to evacuate the coastal areas as the coastal areas have been completely flooded. More information will come shortly.
You're listening to NOAA Weather Radio, all hazards, serving the city of Fresno. Today, the temperature is at 60 degrees, winds is calm, which it is around 4 miles per hour. Tomorrow, it will be partly cloudy, with a high of 62 degrees, and a low of 40 degrees at tomorrow night.
An administrative message, which was being sent out by local authorities, which is that the sea level has risen at a high rate, causing more land that is next to the sea to be flooded completely. If the situation gets worse, the national emergency will be declared. Please stay tuned for more information and updates.
This is the national emergency. All normal programming has been suspended. The President, or one of his representatives, will be speaking all stations shortly. Please stand by.
We interrupt normal programming. This is a global emergency. Important details will follow.
The following message is transmitted at the request of myself, the Vice President, and the Federal Emergency Management Agency. This is not a test. Repeating, this is not a test. We regret to inform you that the sea level crisis is currently taking place across the world. Mass evacuations are now taking place across the world as the result of the rising sea levels. Behind all of this, which it is due to the Earth's temperature rising and climate change. Mass migrations have already been reported across the world. All residents who are still alive and still in the coastal areas are strongly advised to evacuate the shores immediately. Today it's December and we are supposed to be celebrating the upcoming Christmas, but the sea level has caused every coastal areas to be flooded everywhere. Do not return to your home as your home is nothing but submerged in floods. Please note that the evacuations by authorities are meant for your safety and for your survival. Bring food, water, clothing, medical supplies, and a battery-powered radio when you do evacuate. New states and countries will form as a result of the rising sea levels. The United Nations are now working together to resolve the climate change from happening in the near future. My fellow Americans, we are going through the tough times, but we will rise back up, even though we may lose our cities due to the rising sea levels. But we will rebuild everything. Thank you, and God bless the United States of America.
That was the message from the United States government. All normal programming is still discontinued until further notice.
An administrative message has been issued by the United States government and the United Nations. Our plan to stop the climate change has been successful. However, major coastal cities have been submerged with only the tall buildings remaining visible. So far, all countries are planning on to make a city on top of the waters. This is the administrative message. All normal programming may now continue.